Under the glow of the full moon, Tando thrums with life. The steady beat of drums drives dancers adorned in vivid, patterned fabrics. Laughter from children cuts through the melodies of flutes, while the elders, seated in a revered circle, spin age-old tales of the harvest spirits. In the center of it all stands the sacred harvest stone, piled high with offerings of ripe fruits and golden grains. Atop this bounty rests an intricately carved idol, embodying the spirit's goodwill. The crowd falls silent as the high priest steps forward, his voice deep and commanding. "The spirits watch over us," he intones, gesturing toward the idol. Murmurs of agreement ripple through the crowd, heads bowing in reverence. The priest raises the idol high, a symbol of gratitude meant to ensure the village's prosperity. The villagers chant softly, their voices blending with the low hum of drums, sealing the ritual. The quiet reverence shatters as a figure cloaked in shadows darts forward. The crowd gasps as the idol is struck, splintering into fragments that scatter over the sacred offerings. The figure vanishes into the darkness as chaos erupts. Cries of shock fill the square, with mothers clutching their children and elders frozen in disbelief. The high priest lifts his arms, his voice shaking with fury. "This is a grave offense," he declares, his gaze sweeping over the terrified villagers. The spirits will not overlook such disrespect. Before dawn, their retribution will come. The crowd murmurs in terror, whispers of curses and punishment rising with every word. A calm voice cuts through the fear. Ekow steps forward, his tone measured but bold. "Why would the spirits punish us for the actions of one?" he asks, his gaze fixed on the elders. The villagers shift uncomfortably, torn between fear and the unsettling truth in his words. The high priest's glare is sharp as a blade, his voice a growl. "Your doubts are dangerous." Elders surround Ekow, their words harsh and condemning. "Tradition must not be questioned," they insist, their voices steeped in the weight of generations. Yet among the villagers, murmurs of agreement rise. Some nod at Ekow's courage, while others whisper warnings of disaster for his defiance. Before the dawn breaks, the villagers discover their worst fear. The once vibrant crops wilt as though touched by a malevolent hand. Leaves shrivel and blacken, stalks bend under their weight, and the air carries the sour stench of decay. Panic spreads with villagers wailing, "The spirits are punishing us!" As villagers mourn their withering fields, Ekow notices something unusual. Symbols burned into the earth catch his eye. Unlike the sacred carvings etched into the harvest stone, these shapes are jagged and unfamiliar. Kneeling closer, he runs his fingers over the scorched soil. These marks aren't divine. They are deliberate, with determination etched into his face. Ekow steps back from the symbols. "This isn't the spirits," he whispers. His voice grows louder as he addresses the frightened crowd. "Someone is hiding the truth. I will find the answers before this fear consumes us all." As villagers exchange uneasy glances, Ekow steels himself for the path ahead. The village's prosperity rests on two pillars: fertile lands and unwavering faith. Every season, the high priest leads rituals at the harvest stone, offering fruits, grains, and a carved idol to appease the spirits of the land. The villagers believe these ceremonies secure their bounty, each prayer woven into the rhythm of their daily lives. Nanadabo commands the village not just with wisdom, but with fear. His words, laced with authority, turn every whisper of doubt into heresy. By invoking the spirit's anger at the smallest offense, he ensures loyalty, his presence casting a shadow over every home and field. Orphaned as a child, Ekow was raised by his grandmother, a woman of sharp wit and even sharper tongue. Her stories carried both awe and warning. Though she spoke of the spirit's might, she also sowed seeds of doubt, teaching him to look beyond what is told and see the truths hidden in shadows. Her voice still lingers in his memory. "The spirits don't take what isn't freely given," she had said, her tone filled with mystery. These words planted a question in Ekow's heart, a question that grew as he watched the rituals demand more and more from the people. Every corner of the village holds a tale of punishment, crops turning to ash overnight, families torn apart by illness, and villagers disappearing into the night. Each story lays the blame on the spirits. These whispers keep the village bound to its rituals, each act of devotion steeped in fear. The shattering of the idol shakes the villagers' faith to its core. Panic grips their hearts, but Ekow feels something else: curiosity. As the elders scramble for answers, he notices the cracks in their stories, their explanations bending under the weight of fear. Ekow begins to piece together the inconsistencies. Why do the spirits punish so selectively? Why does each ritual demand more than the last? His questions ripple through the village, challenging the foundation of their beliefs and drawing ire from those who cling to tradition. The high priest calls for immediate atonement, a second offering of even greater value. His voice trembles with urgency, but to Ekow, it reeks of opportunism. The spirits demand nothing new, yet Nanadabo's demands grow louder, his influence tightening like a noose around the people. Near the rotting fields, Ekow stumbles upon something strange, symbols scorched into the earth. Their shapes are unfamiliar, their edges precise. They don't belong to the village's traditions, nor do they resemble anything from the elders' teachings. These marks are a puzzle, and Ekow is determined to solve it. His doubts make him a target. The council dismisses him, their voices sharp with condemnation. "Your words invite disaster," they say. The villagers murmur, their fear turning to anger. Yet amidst the scorn, a few eyes linger on Ekow, their doubt mirrored in his. Ajoa, the village healer, approaches him in secret. Her voice is steady, but her eyes reveal unease. "You're not the only one who questions," she admits. She speaks of whispers she's heard, patterns she's noticed. Together they find solace in shared doubt, their alliance forming quietly but firmly. Ajoa shares a chilling revelation. Villagers have vanished during past harvests, their absences blamed on the spirits. No one questioned the connection. Fear silenced all doubt. But now, with the strange symbols and the rotting crops, a darker truth seems to loom. Ekow feels the weight of their words, the mystery tightening its grip. The villagers gather in despair as more fields succumb to decay. Hushed prayers fill the air, their hope waning with every withering stalk. Whispers of curses and angered spirits spread like wildfire, deepening their fear. The high priest steps forward, his voice commanding yet tinged with urgency. He proclaims that only a second, more extravagant offering can appease the spirits and save the village. His words ignite a mix of desperation and skepticism among the villagers. Ekow steps into the tense crowd, his tone sharp but steady. He challenges the necessity of another offering, pointing to the symbols and unnatural timing of the crop failures. "Why now?" he asks. "Why so suddenly? And why only after the idol's fall?" His words create ripples of doubt, though most hesitate to side with him. Determined to seek answers, Ekow convinces the healer to join his investigation. Together they delve into the fields under the cover of whispers and unease, their shared doubt driving them forward despite the risks. Their search reveals unsettling clues: clean cuts on crops where decay was blamed, soil that appears freshly, disturbed and strange burned symbols etched deep into the earth. This isn't the work of spirits, Adjoa mutters, her unease growing. Their investigation leads them to the harvest stone. Beneath its surface, they uncover a hidden chamber filled with identical symbols, along with relics that hint at intentional deception. Each item fuels their determination to unearth the truth. Ekow and Adjoa approach Kweku, a seasoned hunter known for his skill and discretion. Reluctantly, he agrees to help, intrigued but wary of the implications. "This path won't end in peace," he warns. As they follow the trail, Kweku's voice cuts through the tension. "Powerful men don't fall quietly," he cautions, his words heavy with experience. He emphasizes the danger of opposing Nanadabo, urging them to tread carefully. Their search unravels a secret. A group within the village has been exploiting the legend of the spirits to maintain control. The pieces fall into place. Fear of the spirits isn't just tradition. It's a tool wielded by the powerful. Ekow's chest tightens as the betrayal is revealed. Someone he trusted, someone he once called a friend, is part of the group. The weight of their deceit fuels his anger and resolve, transforming doubt into a burning need for justice. The group's motives come to light. The offerings are not for the spirits, but to sustain their dominance over the village. "They've made us prisoners of our own faith," Adjoa says, her voice trembling with anger. The withering crops and disappearances are not acts of divine wrath, but deliberate acts to enforce fear. The realization sends a chill through the group. Fear has become the leash binding the villagers to lies. All evidence points to Nanadabo as the architect of the deception. His sermons, his rituals, even his urgent demands, all were crafted to preserve his power and protect the group's dark secrets. Ekow clenches his fists. "This ends now," he declares, preparing to confront the high priest head-on. In whispers, the trio sharpens their strategy. Ekow outlines the steps. Expose the lies, reveal the truth, and break the village's cycle of fear. Kweku agrees to stand guard while Adjoa gathers proof. Each feels the weight of what's to come. The harvest stone looms over the crowd, heavy with their unease. Murmured prayers mingle with the hum of drums. The high priest, regal and stern, raises his arms, commanding silence. The people await his words, their faith fraying under the tension. Ekow steps forward, his voice cutting through the ritual's solemnity. "Enough of these lies," he declares, holding up sketches of the markings and describing the hidden chamber. Gasps ripple through the villagers, their gazes darting between Ekow and the high priest. Adjoa approaches, carrying weathered artifacts from beneath the harvest stone. She lays them before the crowd, pieces of fabric, a child's bracelet. "These are not offerings," she states. "They are traces of those who disappeared." Shocked murmurs build into accusations. The villagers erupt in argument. Some demand answers, while others cling to their belief in the rituals. The elders rally behind the high priest, defending tradition. Ekow's allies grow louder, their courage bolstered by the evidence before them. The high priest, cornered and desperate, raises his hand for silence. "Yes, there was a pact," he admits, his voice heavy with defeat. He recounts how the ancestors promised offerings in exchange for fertile lands and prosperity. Nanadabo's gaze sweeps over the crowd. "We continued the pact because we feared breaking it," he says. "Without the spirits, what are we?" His words cut deep, exposing the foundation of fear that has ruled the village. A crack of thunder interrupts his confession. Rain pours from the sky, lightning strikes the harvest stone, and the villagers scatter in panic. "It's the spirits!" someone cries, while others cower, unsure of what to believe. Ekow steps forward, his face illuminated by the storm's light. He raises his voice above the chaos. If you are real, show yourselves. His challenge hangs in the air, the storm's fury answering with a roar. The thunder fades, the rain slows, and the villagers stare at the harvest stone, now split in two. No spirits emerge, only the heavy silence of truth. The people, drenched and shaken, begin to see the cracks in the faith that bound them. The crowd surrounds Nanadabo, their voices a mix of anger and disappointment. Accusations pierce the air as they demand answers. He stands in silence, his authority crumbling under the weight of the truth. One elder steps forward, holding the ceremonial staff of leadership, and declares, "You are no longer our high priest. Your lies have dishonored us all." The staff is taken from him, the villagers turning their backs in unison, signaling his fall from power. The members of the secret group are dragged before the people, their faces pale with shame. The council speaks with firm voices, denouncing the manipulation that plagued their village for generations. "You used fear to bind us," one villager says, stepping forward. "Now you will live in exile, far from the fields you poisoned with your lies." The crowd watches as the deceivers are led away, their banishment a promise of a new beginning. The villagers gather at the harvest stone, now split in two. The chamber beneath is exposed, its dark secrets laid bare. One by one they bring items from the chamber, trinkets, tools, and remnants of the manipulated past. A pyre is built, and flames consume the objects as the villagers chant, "No more fear, no more lies." The chamber is filled with earth, sealed forever, symbolizing the end of an era bound by deception. Standing before the crowd, Ekow's voice is steady. "We will honor our ancestors, but not through fear. Their strength lives in us, in the work we do, and the unity we share." His words stir hope in the villagers who nod in agreement. Adjoa steps forward, her hands holding seeds. "Let us plant these around the harvest stone," she says, "so that it may stand as a symbol of growth and truth." Together they kneel to sow the seeds, their hands working as one, marking the dawn of a new chapter for the village. Adjoa steps forward, holding a handful of seeds. "This land has seen fear for too long. Let's turn it into something that gives us life." The villagers watch as she kneels near the harvest stone, scattering seeds into the soil once marked by deception. Her actions inspire others to join. Together they work with renewed energy, planting rows of crops that symbolize their commitment to growth and truth. The sound of laughter mixes with the rhythmic beats of tools striking the earth. Neighbors share stories, hands moving in harmony to rebuild their fields. A young boy pulls a cart of water, while an elder teaches him how to nourish the soil. "We are stronger together," someone says, and heads nod in agreement. The divisions that once splintered the village fade as the people embrace unity in their work. Voices rise, calling for Ekow to lead them. He raises his hand, shaking his head. "I am no ruler," he says. "What we need is truth, not power. Each of us has a role to play in ensuring we never let fear guide us again." Adjoa smiles, her eyes reflecting pride in his words. The villagers murmur their agreement, understanding that their future lies in shared responsibility, not in one person's control. Weeks pass, and tiny green sprouts push through the soil near the harvest stone. Children cheer, running to show the first signs of life to their parents. The once somber gathering place now brims with laughter and hope. An elder lifts her hands, her voice steady. "We will remember this as the day we chose hope over fear." The villagers stand together, gazing at the sprouts that promise a brighter future. An elder steps forward, his voice heavy with regret. "We placed our trust in shadows, following rituals without question. And in doing so, we allowed lies to take root. Others nod solemnly, murmuring agreement. The weight of their blind adherence hangs in the air like a bitter memory, a reminder of the power fear once held over them. Another voice rises, firm and resolute. No longer will we accept tradition without understanding. From this day, we pledge to seek truth, even if it challenges what we've always known. The villagers clasp hands, their collective determination forming an unspoken pact. Fear no longer binds them, and the promise of wisdom takes its place. Away from the crowd, Ekow stands at the edge of the fields, watching as the first green shoots break through the soil. The air feels lighter, unburdened by the weight of deception. He draws a quiet breath, knowing these sprouts represent more than a new season. They are symbols of resilience, of lessons learned, and of a community ready to grow in both spirit and strength. Adjoa joins him, her gaze fixed on the fields. The spirits never demanded fear. They were a reflection of us, the strength we forgot we had. Her words are soft, yet they carry the weight of truth. Ekow smiles faintly, understanding now that the harvest was never about appeasing unseen forces, but about uniting and believing in their own abilities. Together they turn back toward the village, their steps steady with purpose. Around them the sounds of rebuilding hum, a chorus of hope replacing whispers of dread. Fear no longer guides us, she says quietly. What we build now is a legacy of resilience, of hope, and of truth. The villagers gather around the harvest stone, now surrounded by newly planted crops. An elder speaks, her voice steady and clear. We are no longer bound by the weight of fear. Today marks a new chapter, one of wisdom, unity, and courage. Hands clasp together, tools lift to the air, and a shared smile spreads through the crowd. They have replaced doubt with purpose, creating a future rooted in trust and truth.